From the cradle to the grave, man aspires for freedom, everlasting peace, and happiness through his achievements and inventions of technologies. But we script our own miseries and failures through moral misconduct and ignorance. 240 years ago, when many parts of the world were experiencing dark phases in history and succumbed to immoral practices, Bhagwan Swaminarayan ushered in a moral and spiritual renaissance. It was the night of Monday the 3rd, April 1781, in a little village called Chappaya in northern India. A child was born to a humble couple, Hariprasad and Baladevi. They named the child Ghanshyam. Great sage and learned astrologer Markandeya Muni said, "Your son Ghanshyam will relieve the miseries of countless people, and thus his fame will spread everywhere." Ghanshyam's parents decided to test Ghanshyam, so they placed a gold coin, a book, and a small sword on a stool to see which of the three things Ghanshyam would pick. Ghanshyam got down from his cradle, went to the stool, and picked up the book. Seeing this, Ghanshyam's parents were convinced that their son would study and become a scholar. Indeed, he became a very great scholar at a very young age, who gave a book of ethics called the Shikshapatri that preaches various aspects, namely the basics of hygiene, guidelines on the aspect of life such as familial, financial, managerial, social, ecological, and spiritual, along with fostering many profound scholars at his time. Ghanshyam was also popularly known as Shriji Maharaj, Sahajanand Swami, or Swaminarayan Bhagwan interchangeably. Not only the Indians, but even the Britishers were greatly impressed by the socio-religious reforms Shriji Maharaj had brought. When Britishers ruled India, the chief of the Christian missions, Bishop Heber, was touring northern India and areas near the city Kolkata to spread Christianity. When he came to the state Gujarat, the collector of Vadodara, Mr. Williamson, informed the bishop about the social reforms and religious reforms brought about by Shriji Maharaj. Williamson said to the bishop, "Swaminarayan has done a wonderful job. He is very much loved by the people. His preaching and sermons are superior to those we find in the Hindu scriptures. He preaches to practice pure action and look towards women with respect and piety. He preaches against theft and killings. All troubled districts where he has worked have become most law-abiding." Hearing this, Bishop became eager to see Shriji Maharaj, and when he met him, Shriji Maharaj's social-spiritual heights became obvious to him. He was astonished to see hundreds of disciplined devotees from unruly tribes in the service of Shriji Maharaj, who had sacrificed their lives for him. He was amazed to see the great qualitative difference between Shriji Maharaj's attendants and his own bodyguards, who were paid, yet would not even know him or love him. He was greatly impressed on seeing people from all different communities, castes, and religions, including Muslims, living together in peace and harmony. He requested Shriji Maharaj to explain him his principles. Hence, not only did Shriji Maharaj explain to him the principles, but gave him the book of moral conducts, the Shikshapatri. Some of the reforms to the society by moral persuasions brought by Shriji Maharaj were the end of dowry, female infanticide, in which the mother would drown their newborn daughters in a large pot of milk, because families did not want to carry the financial burden of eventually paying for the daughter's dowry at the time of her marriage. He also brought the end of the custom of becoming a sati, the practice of burning the widows on their husbands' funeral pyres, and emphasized the God-given rights for each individual to love and enjoy their lives. Thus, Shriji Maharaj stopped immoral practices that were being labeled as religious rituals. Impressed by Shriji Maharaj's advocacy in all these matters, another Britisher, Sir John Malcolm, the governor of Bombay, met Shriji Maharaj in 1827 to extend Shriji Maharaj's generous cooperation on these two reforms. Shriji Maharaj gave him the Shikshapatri, the book of moral code of conduct, which has been housed in the main research library of the University of Oxford, the Bodleian Library, even today. This way, Shriji Maharaj's efforts in elevating the moral standards of the masses and providing aid in the times of calamities greatly impressed the British. When women were not even considered citizens in most parts of the world, Shriji Maharaj encouraged women to take a leading role in society by reading, writing, thinking, and raising a family, which would serve as a building block for their community. He encouraged women to operate properties, farms, and their families' business ventures. He taught them how to face society with confidence and to voice their opinions. Thus, women were given a place and function in society that they deserved. In this way, Shiji Maharaj went from place to place, raising the downtrodden and ignorant classes to heights of true happiness, and fostered a high degree of morality by eradicating addictions and immoral habits from their lives.